Dark Souls is one of those games that is a clear classic. I know for myself and many other people that I know, it's one of the all-time greatest games ever. So now that the Dark Souls Remaster is here, is it worth picking up? Should you spend more money on this great game that you probably already played? I'm going to try to answer that question here in today's video. So there's a few major improvements that we're seeing with the Dark Souls Remaster. I think some of the biggest, most notable one is an overall increase to the baseline visual fidelity. We're talking about resolution, frame rate, and textures and effects. I want to take a look at each one of those individually, thanks to some great videos put up by Digital Foundry. So let's start off with the resolution. So the baseline resolution has been increased to 1080p. There is also native 4K potential on PC and an upscaled 4K for the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X. Frame rate has increased to 60 FPS from what was once 30 FPS. This will be especially noticeable for console players. Obviously those who played on the PC, we had access to mods which unlocked this potential, and I'll talk about that a little bit more further in the video. But then there's the fact that there has been an improvement to the baseline of some of the textures, the visual effects, and the lighting. Although it's worth noting that in all of the footage that I've seen so far, there's something a little bit off about the lighting. In fact, in many ways, I feel like the lighting looked better in the previous versions of the game than it does with the new lighting overhaul. Now, Digital Foundry goes into some detail about the specifics as to how that lighting changed, but just as an initial impression, like looking at the footage, yeah, a lot of times the lighting actually looks better in the original Dark Souls compared to what we're getting here in the Dark Souls Remaster. But the lighting aside, we have a baseline improvement to the resolution, the frame rate, and then some improvements to various textures and effects. Now, it's not all just about the visual fidelity. There have been some other improvements as well. On the multiplayer side of things, we've seen a cap increase of player count from 4 players to 6 players. They also added password matchmaking for private games, and there's been many additional quality of life improvements from some of the more recent Dark Souls games. Like we have the ability to now swap covenants at the bonfires, Estus Flask will restore when you defeat invading phantoms, and there's a list of a bunch of other just small little tweaks and changes to make the overall experience a little bit better. Now, is it any drastic changes? Is this a major overhaul, a reinvention of Dark Souls? No, it's not. But if I were to take it bit by bit, I would say for the console side of things, the answer is obvious. If you're looking to play more Dark Souls, this is a big improvement. The visual fidelity, the effects, the frame rate, the resolution, and the quality of life changes. It's an obvious choice. This is the ultimate version of Dark Souls that you're going to want to play as a console player. As a PC player, it really is a bit more up in the air, and it's really just going to come down to personal preference. Yes, the baseline has been raised. It says a lot when it comes to the potential of adding mods on top of that. If the modding community can get in here and take the baseline 1080p, 4K support, the solid 60 FPS, and the baseline improvement to textures and effects, and then add on top of that, this will clearly be the version to get. But you could get pretty comparable performance on the PC already with mods, so it's not going to be a major leap for us PC players. Also keep in mind there are the quality of life changes, the player cap increase from 4 to 6, password matchmaking, and a few other things that will make this the best baseline version of the game. But it's not a drastic difference, so if you're on the PC, you might think twice about it. It seems like they're well aware of this by the fact that people on the PC who own the prior version of the game can actually buy the remaster at a 50% discount. That's essentially them saying what we're saying here, and that is it's some improvement, but not that much compared to what you could already get. And then finally, I should mention that the game will be coming to Switch as well. So when it comes back to the question of, is it worth it? Should you buy the Dark Souls Remaster? Console, yeah, it seems like this will be the best version of the game if you're looking for a refreshed, updated playthrough. PC, it's really gonna be up to you because not that much is changing in your side of the experience. For me, at least, it's gonna come down to how many of my friends are playing this. If they're gonna play this version of the game, yeah, I'll buy the updated version just to play with them. Just keep in mind that it isn't a major overhaul. This isn't a reinvention of Dark Souls. It's just a slightly polished up version. They basically just put DS Fix in the base experience. And really that's basically it. I'm trying to keep this video pretty short and sweet. I don't go into too much of the super specific technical side of things. Again, Digital Foundry is an amazing source for that. If you're looking for some really specific stuff, go check out their videos. I'll put all the links in the description below. The chances are pretty good that I will be picking this up and checking it out because I do expect my friends will be doing the same. And, you know, it's almost going to be worth the money just to play Blighttown at a solid 60.
Gameplay flows perfectly from one scene to the next at 60 FPS, and having scanned in 7,000 frames of footage in the same run to the bottom, there's not even a single hiccup en route.
Just to see that will be like a life it'll be a major moment in my life. That's a pretty big deal. I thought I'd die of old age before I could play Blighttown above 20 frames. All right, guys, that's it for me here today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you next time. It says here that Dark Souls Remastered is gonna be $39.99, so 50% discount on PC means it's $20. So you're basically paying $20 for them to fix Blighttown. I guess that's good.